The NRL Fantasy Major Buy rounds for 2025 are officially in the books with them done and dusted, round 18 finished. And some of you guys are going to be breathing a sigh of relief, while others, you'll be disappointed because this was a great period for you. Regardless, this week didn't disappoint. A lot of high scores, point of difference players who popped off, and some injuries, last minute changes that threaten to derail seasons. A lot of chaos this week. Now, as always, we'll go through the top scorers first, and we'll work our way back through the round and talk about the big fantasy implications. So, top scorers here, KO Weeks is number one, 96 points here. This was dramatic. This was very dramatic from KO Weeks. And a few of you guys jumped on KO Weeks. So respect to you for the pod there. 458K, very interesting price point to jump on a guy, but hey, he pumped out 96 points. And that try where he trucked through like 5 players, destroyed Gutho with the step there as well, and just pure speed down the stretch. Absolutely awesome. I've got KO Weeks. I had him as my captain against Bergs in a Supercoach draft, actually. So I love that KO Weeks score this week. Down the list here, Nick Meaney went back to fullback against the Cowboys there. The Storm scored a bunch of points, and Nick Meaney was a big beneficiary of that. Pumped out 84 points. So if you got on that pod, 430K, very fun one there at a pretty interesting price point with dual position. A few of you guys did it, but it was a rare move. Mark Nwani Tawase, he was much more common this week. So 76 points for Mark, and Mark was dominant in this game. He really had Luke Lee's measure throughout this one. Whenever he got the ball, he created something. So yeah, if he got even more ball, he would have been even bigger in this game. It could have been a 100-plus game, but 76 points, you'll take that with 2 tries. It's a great score. Nafahu White, big minutes here. He produces when he gets the big minutes, so you love to see that. And then we've got Xavier Willison, again, showing that when he gets the minutes there, he can pump out a huge score. 74 points here. Corey Jensen was a lead out, so we'll talk about that when we get to the Broncos. Terrell May, 73 points. It's like clockwork, really. He just keeps on pumping out these scores. Then Sean Bloor. Samuel Afinu, actually pretty good form. Last 3 average above 50 now as well. He's been good. Fogarty with a 65. Hosking, again, coming good at the right time with a 65. Do you sell him now? It's a big question. Then Clifford. And I've got to shout out Tommy Turbo, Latu Fino, Scotty Drinkwater, Eli Katoa. They're the last ones there, but they're all in a lot of teams there too with those 60 scores. Turbo looked absolutely lethal in this one. Now, we'll go into Manly v Rabbitohs here, and a couple of those players we were talking about there are in this game. We also have to talk about Tallis Duncan. What a ridiculous game script. Absolutely ridiculous. As a non-owner, I was seething when he scored those 2 tries. But you know what? Playing in the centers, attacking stats are part of the profile, so you can't be too upset, right? Like he's playing in the centers there. He's going to have those opportunities and converted them very well. Now, Tommy Turbo, 64 points here. Grabbed 2 tries in this one. 28 tackles is a great defensive work rate for him as well. They ran a lot of ball in his direction. Only the 2 missed tackles. They would have been the 2 around the try, though. 105 meters run is a bit on the lower end there, and 2 tackle breaks again a bit lower too. So you expect a little bit more, but he may potentially update a little bit. This is pre-updates, so he could potentially pick up a tackle break or 2. But for Tommy Turbo, this is a very encouraging performance, and we're not going to talk about Totola right now. But for Tommy Turbo, you're sticking with him, right, at this point. 416K. He bumped up about 20K last week, so you'd expect he jumps another, 40K or whatever it is this week. So he'll be up around that 450K mark. At that point, you're not going to sell him straight away, even though he does have the buy. Probably going to ride the wave and just keep him as that depth piece for now. Ruben Garrick here, 587K, and pumped out that 55. Now, his recent form hasn't been great, but it hasn't been as bad as people are saying. A lot of stuff in the 40s there for him. Pumps out a 55 here. It looked like it was going to be bigger than that in the first half when he scored 2 tries, but unfortunately only got the 2 tries there in the 55 points. So you kind of got to ride the wave with this. I mean, yeah, only 1 offload there, 3 tackle breaks. The stat line's okay, 134 meters run. You just expect a little bit more from Ruben Garrick. Kolomatangi played 80 minutes here, which would probably make you think, oh, yeah, sweet. He was on for a big score. Not quite. 54 points for him. And again, he's in most of our teams. He's got to buy this week. You got to think about whether Kolomatangi is a keeper for the rest of the year, because 800K, it's a big price to pay for a guy. And the recent form has not been good at all, but the 80 minutes is encouraging. So I know he had a bit of time where he looked like he was playing on the edge as well. Like it's a tough one to judge because like the 1 tackle break, 1 offload to ground, it's not as explosive as he was before. I'm a bit worried about this one, but I am probably going to stick with him. I just think unless you've got 15 plus trades, you're probably not selling a guy like Kolomatangi. Tallis Duncan was on 10 points for this whole bloody game and then scored 2 tries at the end. If you're a Duncan owner, you are like, you're loving life. You're loving life. And look, to be fair to him, he ran nice lines for those tries, beat tackles. He looked fantastic. So I'm not discrediting it, but it's just funny how fantasy goes. Like you watch him all game, you think, oh yeah, sweet, 15 points for him. As a non-owner, it's okay. After he scored that 95, it balances out. No, here's another 54. Talis Duncan does not score below 50. At this point, you start thinking maybe he's a guy that you keep for the rest of the year if he's going to keep up this sort of form because he's playing great footy. Now, I don't know if you could, but the cash rises, they are very tempting to keep on. So I'd probably say you want to try and hold Duncan for a couple more weeks and just see how this pans out if you do have him, which is crazy to say considering where we had him a few weeks ago. Cherry Evans, 52 points, grabbed the try there. Started hot, sort of cooled off in this one, so not too exciting there. Shout out to Turtles Misso, who jumped on Cherry Evans as a pod there. Was looking good for a while there, but then sort of fell off a bit. Dry Arrow, 51, relatively solid. Humphreys with a 49. He's good without Latrell, but goes back to normal after their bye next week. And then Totola, Kohler, solid here. Johnston at the fullback spot was pretty dynamic in this one, but he just goes back to the wing soon. Matt Lodge, 22 minutes, 42 points. Insane PPM for him. Just not a guy you can buy with 22 minutes there, though. Takiaho, solid. Gerbo, Saab, Bullimore, Gray, Simpkin, relatively solid there. Liho Hopewadi has not been it since he got the fullback spot, so yeah, definitely take him off your radars. Hubner, Jazz Tavanga. Yeah, Tavanga a bit quiet in this one. Just not a lot of attacking play. So no tackle breaks, no offloads, 40 meters run. That's the issue there. You need a bit more in attack from Big Jazz. Jazz has done a job for our fantasy sides, but it's probably time to go this week. David Moale, again, yeah, just sort of around that 40-minute mark. At some point, I think he breaks out, but not anytime soon. Then Waddell, Jack Whiten, really quiet in this one. Really quiet, Jack Whiten. No offloads, no tackle breaks, minimal attacking stats. If you got on Jack White and you're not loving that, Host, Sipley, Campbell Graham, another 25 here. Still yet to see his first line break of the year. Campbell Graham hasn't scored a try either. So at some point, if we think the attacking stats are going to come back, he might be value, but they're just not there. Brandon Smith went off early in this one with a bit of an injury there. Burbo, quiet. Havili, Brooks really quiet. Munro, 7 tackle breaks for Munro, 14 points. And then the rest, he ended up on 18 points. So it was 3 missed tackles, 2 errors, only 80 meters run. Munro shows signs like glimpses where he looks quite good, but then just doesn't seem to go on with it score-wise. So I think he's going to remain around that 300K mark for the rest of the year. Isaiah Tass grabbed a try in this one, ended up in 12. That's fantasy pedigree right there. Tommy Talau, less minutes there in LeBlanc, also went up the tunnel. A bit of an injury here too. Aitken should be back after their bye. And who else have we got missing there? Cody Walker is a chance at round 20 as well, potentially. I think he's more touch and go. So we should see Duncan move out of the center spot very soon. But yeah, if you're an Aitken owner, you might have sold already. You're probably going to sell next week. And if you're a Duncan owner, you're probably thinking about that over the next month too. And if you're a Cody Walker owner, you're insane. But hey, he was hot that last game, so maybe he comes good. Roosters v Tigers next, and this is a fun game of footy to watch. 30-28, Tigers got up. I was happy with that one. Nwani Tuase, big game from him. 2 tries. Got the 13 tackle breaks for 26 points here, 120 run meters. This was premium Mark Nwani Tuase. He was the part of the week for a reason, and he absolutely killed it. So yeah, love to see that. Pumped out a big one. If you had him, you're probably thinking, all right, is he quite a keeper? And the next couple of weeks is going to give you that answer. Just watch and see how he goes, and you can make that call over the next few weeks. Nafahu White, 74 minutes, 75 points. He is a pure PPM guy. I think he goes back to like 50 minutes, 50 points, which is still quite good, but I don't think he ends up around that 55 to 60 average. So again, if he's in your team, you ride the wave for a couple more weeks here, see how things settle out, and then make your call on him in the next 2 weeks or so. Terrell May, 71 minutes, 73 points. Again, good to see him back at the bigger minutes here. The other thing I like to see here as well was 4 offloads from him. That was more offloads than what we've been seeing recently. So Terrell May back to a pretty good position here with that 73 points there. No attacking stats, any of that, right? So, yeah, he's a viable captain every single week and probably going to be the most captain guy next week. Then Samuel Afinu, we talked about him as a bit of a pod option when he was around 400K. He's now about 430K. He had a couple of back-to-back 40-ish scores, 40 to 45, and he's pumped out this 68 here. What we saw was interesting from him. So lower run meters here, 62 run meters, but you've got the try there, the 2 line breaks, and a couple of try savers, which is pretty funny stat, but 5 tackle breaks there as well. So the potency of the attack on that edge with Adam Dewey and Latu Fainu in particular just feeding him a lot of quality ball and him just hitting holes. It was really nice. It was good to see them sort of direct, and straighten up the attack a bit, which Latu Fainu really does in that Tigers attack. So I think when Jerome Luai comes back, he probably needs to watch the film of that a bit and just sort of see, all right, cool, this is how you get the most out of Samuel Fainu. Front foot, take him to the line, feed him a ball, run the ball sometimes as well. Like a bit less lateral, which is what I think Luai's been doing a bit more of this year. So Yeah, I think we're going to see some of the final heat up down the stretch, but at this point, we're out of the buys, so you're not going to buy a guy like him in your fantasy side unless you're a team who started like 2 weeks ago and you're a bit low on cash. In that case, he's actually quite a fun option. Latu Finu, 63. You love to see this. And look, he had to work hard to get this 63 points. So he had a try in this one, a try saver, line break. He had 17 tackles, 5 missed tackles, really bumped that down. 2 tackle breaks, 2 offloads here, 3 forced turnovers, and 142 meters run with basically no kicking here. So again, Latu Finu, he clutched up for us in this one, but I still wouldn't be expecting a huge average out of him. I would say it's probably more in that sort of high 30s area. I've upgraded him a bit. He was originally in the mid 30s in my head. He's now in sort of the high 30s there. The 63 though, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was in my starting side, so I was happy to see it. But it was a bit more than I expected from Latu Finu this week. Then we'll get down to him in a sec. But on the note of cash outs here, Tristan Hope, 59 points. And he was our cheapie of the week. So 59 points in 65 minutes here. Had a try saver, a try assist, 41 tackles, none missed. And, an offload, couple of meters run there too. So Tristan Hope, pretty much a perfect game from him. If you cashed out to him for 230k and you got 60 points out of him, you are bloody cheering. You're absolutely stoked with that one. So GG if you did. I didn't this week just because I can't afford the red dot for the rest of the year. But if you're a team that's flush with trades and you made that move, then bravo to you. Adam Dewey, 56 points. Yeah, look, he stepped into the halves. No tackle breaks, no offloads, and still 56 points. This is just scratching the surface of what Adam Dewey can do in terms of fantasy production in the half spot. Jimmy Tedesco saved his score late in this game, absolutely saved it. So the try, the line break there, they came late, 6 tackle breaks, 233 raw meters. He was looking like an all-time stinker for fantasy a lot of this game, and then he came up clutch right at the end, nearly carried the Roosters back into this game, but they fell short. 48 points. You can live with it as long as you didn't captain him. You can live with that score. That's fine. He's a wing fullback. It's going to bounce around. This is a loss, so 48. You can live with it. Sandon Smith, 47 points. Sione Finu actually underrated here as a bit of a pod, sort of cheapy mid through this period. He's been quite good. 46 points here. Grabbed the try. Only 38 minutes there, but he produces a pretty strong PPM, and the meters run pretty solid as well. So he's been good. Hugo Savala, a bit of a lower score compared to what you would have expected watching the game. So he had a try assist in this one. Still only 46 points here. Good kick meters, decent run meters, just no tackle breaks, no offloads. You really feel it when a guy doesn't have any tackle breaks or offloads because that's sort of the buffer that builds out it turns a 40 score into a 60 score kind of thing, right? So that's what we're missing for Savala this week. But he's sort of on the fringe of potentially someone you can hold on to for a bit longer. Potentially you might move him on soon. I think we're going to be selling Savala in a couple of weeks' time. I think he's going to end up on that list. Rodwell, another cash out we talked about this week. One I liked quite a bit, just playing on the Roosters' edge there. So try assist, 2 line breaks there, 3 tackle breaks, 200 meters plus run. He was pretty effective without a try. Nearly scored a try in this one as well, which would have bumped his score to 60 plus. He's an interesting one. So if you did cash out to him, he presumably drops out of the team next week when Billy Smith comes back from injury and Rob Toya comes back from Origin. But at the same time, he's the first drop option there for the Roosters. So if they're missing a player either at center or at wing or probably at fullback, he's the guy who comes into the team. So you've got a guy in your team who, especially if you're a team who has Noani Tuase and Tedesco and that kind of thing, he's kind of like a backup for those guys. So not the worst guy to have in your roster for the rest of the year at this point if you did buy on. Celeste Fiketti, look, 45 points is fine. 40 tackles here, 115 run meters, no tackle breaks, no offloads, successful. He did throw that offload close to the line that I liked that he threw it. It just wasn't great execution on that play. But yeah, for Fiketti, you can live with that score. 80 minutes is great. Egan Butcher came back from a HIA. I was shocked that he came back. I thought he might be out, but Fiketti will face some competition for his spot next week. Alex Twal, solid. Staines, Tupou, Toa with a great try assist at the start of this game and sort of went quiet after that. Bit of an injury issue for staff at Toa, so keep that in mind. Safe off the bench in the middle. And then we got Pole, Suka, played big minutes, just not a big PPM. 39 tackles, 31 points is not what you want to see. 27 meters run, so basically irrelevant in attack. Taruva, I thought he played better than 30 points. I thought he was popping up a bit more and, he looked aggressive in attack, but didn't quite convert for fantasy. Then Skelton, Dr. Clay, Lasalu, King, Egan Butcher, Iolu. Yeah, this is the last score you wanted from Iolu. 0 run meters is the issue there. So you got 3 missed tackles, 2 penalties, and then just tackle count minus those, basically. Then McCarthy, Steep, Makatoa, Walili, terrorized by Marky Mark all day. And then Murray came on at hooker for a little bit in this game. And then De La Salle Vea. So keep rolling through these games. But those 2 games are really interesting for fantasy. And then it sort of gets a bit more straightforward as we go through. So Cowboys v Storm up next. And Pappenhausen was laid out in this one. Calf issue. So he had some, calf awareness, that kind of thing. It's a 1-week issue. They just kept him out of this game just in case. I figure they thought, we're missing a lot of guys anyway. We might as well just make it a bit more and see what happens here. Now, Nick Meaney absolutely started in the fullback spot there. So look, you can see the stat line here, but the 2 tries, 3 line break assists, 3 line breaks and 8 tackle breaks with 250 meters run. He is absolutely fantastic. Meaney's a stud when he can play at fullback, especially for the Storm. So if he ever gets that role for an extended period of time, you are rushing him into your team immediately. Sean Bloor, very strong from him too. So I just like to look at what sort of caused this score. So for him, he's got the try assist there. 3 offloads is a big booster though. 12 points there for the offloads. You've got 35 tackles with pretty much no misses there and 144 meters run, which is a bit higher than what he usually does. Not a guy we're looking at right now, but a pretty solid score there. Clifford as well. He's sort of shown that he can pump out a big score here and there. So 65 from him. Not a guy I'm targeting, but a guy, if you're in a draft league, he might be available. That kind of deal, but just not a guy who's in that premium level. And we're really only targeting guns at this stage. Scotty Drinkwater, grabbed the try, 2 try assists there, 200 meters plus run, some offloads, tackle breaks, all that jazz. And for Scotty Drinkwater, another 60 plus score. I jumped on 2 weeks ago and I've had 2 60 plus scores out of him, just 60 plus, but I'll take anyone I can get. And for Scotty, it's looking like he can be probably not quite a keeper, but maybe that 3rd wing fullback if you're desperate, or maybe the 4th wing fullback. Like he's sort of in that picture there, a loopholeable kind of guy. I don't mind the idea of keeping Drinkwater for the rest of the year if you can run him as a bit of a loophole depth piece there. He's probably not quite good enough to be a season keeper, but at the same time, if you had, let's say, Jaden Campbell, Latrell Mitchell, and Scott Drinkwater, I wouldn't critique you too hard for that. Eli Qatar grabbed another try in this one, 150 meters run, 5 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 60 points. Absolute killer. He has been on fire since everyone jumped on for fantasy. Bateman with a 60, solid. Thomas McKaylee showing us what he can do. This is ridiculous. Thomas McKaylee, we were hyped about Thomas McKaylee preseason last year. Thought he might get a run. Just never got a go. 38 minutes here, 57 points. You got 21 tackles with no misses, 3 tackle breaks, 4 offloads, 145 meters run. Just a stunning game from him in terms of fantasy production there. So if you jumped on him, you're crazy, but it paid off. It paid off big. Jarom Hughes grabbed a 55 in this one, so 100 plus meters run, 600 kick meters there, 3 tackle breaks. You got a try assist, but really this is a great game for him. 55 points with only the try assist as the attacking stats. That's fine. That's fine. That's good base. This is a really good base stat game from Jarom Hughes. So that's a very encouraging sign for him as a potential keeper for the rest of the year. He seems to be elevating every week. Griffin Neem, very solid. It's a 1-week thing. Cowboys are missing a lot of troops. Josh King stepped up in the minutes as well. Bronson Garlick, same boat. McDonald, Derby grabbed a try in this one. Wishart playing in the starting team. 38 points, a bit quieter than I expected from him in this one. Joe Chan playing at center, grabbed a 38. Just good work rate out of him. McLean, Anderson, Hess. We've got a few of the boys here stepping in. It's not fantasy relevant, though, as I roll through this list. Sofa Solomona grabbed a try, put only 29 points there. Kai O'Donnell, a lot quieter in this one, only 29 points from him, so not the best cash out if you jump to him. Kamitha Mitha, 28 points, pure cash out, I guess, but not the best because he is not a great loophole because he does make the bench for the Storm. Braden Burns, solid. Labart, Purdue, man, come on, Purdue. Oh, this hurts. I thought Purdue maybe bounces back in this one. And he grabbed the try, and I thought, oh yeah, sweet, we're on here. 166 run meters is great too, but the 4 missed tackles, the 3 errors, the penalty, it's bloody minus 16 points in negatives. I love Jackson Purdue as a player, but I'm so keen to sell him in fantasy. It's just been a rough finish to that. But I'll tell you what, he was all bonus for us though. Start of the year, he looked absolutely shocking, and then he really, really heated up for us. And they moved him into the halves, and that sort of slowed down momentum. So Purdue's a guy who I think will be in our fantasy teams again at some point in the future too. Kane Bradley just didn't grab that try. 24 points. Valepu, McIntyre, Lasati, Lars, Pezzett. Yeah, look, all off the radar there, so we can move past that. So rolling into the Raiders v Dragons next, and I think we've only got one more game after this one, so short round. Raiders v Dragons, KO Weeks. We talked about that, but let me read out the stat line here, particularly the attacking stats. 3 tries, 1 try assist, 2 line breaks, 4 line break assists, 10 tackle breaks, and 346 run meters. Just an absurd game from KO Weeks, an absolute dagger in the hearts for anyone who didn't own him there. And most people didn't own him, by the way, but a few of you guys at the top I saw jumped on KO Weeks. I was chatting to a few people about KO Weeks this week, and some of you guys jumped on. It was risky. It was very risky, and it paid off big. So, I mean, this could be one of those pods that, really flies for the run home. I wouldn't recommend buying him this week. I think he's going to be around that 500K mark. You might as well just go to a top tier gun. I don't think he's the guy, but if you want to pod up, you can pod up. I'll never talk someone out of doing a pod. Then we got Jamal Fogarty, 2 try assists in this one, bumped the score right up to 65 there, so you love to see that. Hosking with a 65 as well. He's killing it right now. 41 tackles. Not a lot of gravy stats here, so not a lot of mayo on this one, but 135 run meters and the forced error definitely helps, and a try saver here too. So you got Hosking again. He's probably one you want to hold through this buy round and just see how long this lasts and see how much cash you can make, and then you move him on after that. Michael Molo moved to the edge. Bit disappointing. I was kind of hoping Sagranis might go there, but Molo stepped in, nearly 50 tackles there, 115 meters run. Very solid base stat game from him. Might potentially get that spot a bit longer. It depends how long Luciano is out for. Then Tomoko, bit of a pod. A few of you jumped on as well. 200 meters plus run. Got the 2 forced turnovers there, 2 line breaks, 7 tackle breaks. Very solid. Corey Horsburgh, 57 points in 55 minutes. Again, very strong. Someone you're probably going to be moving on, I would say, this week, but that last hurrah from him was fantastic. Jaden Sewer. And with Horsburgh, by the way, if you have other bigger problems, don't move Horsburgh yet, but I'm thinking he's probably not quite a season keeper. Sewer, Smithy stepped up, so Smithy's played bigger minutes here, grabbed a try as well, 53 points. Flanagan with a 51, Sloan, Cook, 47, played 80 minutes though. So we're talking about Cook this week as a guy who I was thinking would go big in this one. The minutes are big. It's just the points that weren't big there. So 51 tackles there, 41 meters run, and nothing else except for a few missed tackles and an error. So not the best score, but the signs are positive in this new era with some injuries to the Dragons. Jack DeBellin, 43 points in 51 minutes. If you bought him, you're not super happy about that. Simi Sasangi, Turtles guy, 41 points. You can live with that at his price, so that's a solid score. Then Sully, Tarpanay, man, oh, God, this kills me. My round started with Joey Tarpanay, Jacob Preston, Jackson Purdue. It was a brutal start to the round. All these guys just massively underscoring. Joe Tarpanay, 29 minutes, 37 points. You give him 50 minutes and he pumps out 70 points with that PPM. Just infuriating. Just got no minutes in this one. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this. I was kind of hoping that Tarpanay would rise back up and be a potential pseudo keeper, end of bench guy. But games like this, you just can't look past it. He's got the bye next week as well. I'm going to be considering selling Tarpanay next week. I'll be pondering it. Depends if I need the money. If I need the money from him, I may sell him next week. That's kind of what I'm looking at here. So just bloody frustrating. It's a frustrating one for us who we think we planned well for the buys, and he pumps out a 37. For now, with the 37, we've got Starling with a 36. Savage grabbed the try in a 33. Then Clemmer, Laurie, Chris, Corey Allen, Mooney, Mariota, Jacob Little, Gutherson, Strange, all in that sort of mid-20s to 30 area. King Tonga is the next fantasy relevant guy here. Real howler for him. So, I mean, he's had some good games recently, so you can't be too critical. Like, he's young half, developing his game, all that, but the stat line doesn't read well. 27 tackles, 6 missed tackles, an error, 54 meters run, and not a lot of kicking here. So 19 points, not going to do the job for you. Same as Jed Stewart. Didn't grab a try in this one. This is basically the same scoring he's had the last few weeks, but he's been bailed out by the try the last couple of times. So yeah, you're not going to rely on him as a season keeper, but not the worst cash out if you jumped on at 230K, or even this week. It's not the worst thing in the world. Emery Gula, not a lot of minutes from him. Kind of surprised me. I thought he might have a few more than 9 meters run in this game for 25 minutes, but yeah, that one didn't pan out. Then Pacific Tonga, quiet from him too. Noah Martin, feed up Paddy, so we'll roll past them and into Dogs v Broncos. And this one, bit of a preview into the future for a few guys here. First one here is Xavier Willison, 74 points. Now, he either, maybe the Broncos need to clear some space, or maybe he goes elsewhere. I'm not sure what's happening here, because the role he has at Brisbane is not sufficient for the talent that he has. So I'm thinking there's going to be some agitation here at some point where he'll want a bigger role. He definitely deserves a bigger role, and something might, go on there. So Not, I'm not making up a story. I'm not the NRL media, just making up some story here. But I just reckon at some point he's going to pop out, and we're going to be like, all right, cool, it's time. He showed in this game too, like 43 tackles, 4 tackle breaks. He had an offload, 2 forced errors, 200 meters plus run. Fantastic performance. Looked great in real life. Played 68 minutes and really didn't let the team down at all. So yeah, at some point, not this week, we're not going to do it this week, but at some point, Xavier Wilson will be on all of our radars. Corey Jensen out late definitely helped that one. Ricky, solid game. He has these in him. Viliami Kikau grabbed the try. GG, if you guys potted up Kikau, you got the try here. 3 offloads there, 2 forced errors as well. Very strong game from Kikau. So if you potted up, see how long this one goes. Just keep on rolling with him and see what happens because they have some pretty good fixtures coming up. Kobe Hetherington played big minutes. Do not read into this. It's because they had so many injuries, but he is a capable worker when he gets the minutes, and he showed that here with a 60-point game. Ezra Mam, another breakout here, 3 try assists in this one. He was dominant down the stretch in this game, 55 points. Jack Jezewski, you can't ever forget about Jack Jezewski. He always pops up and let us know he's still alive. 54 points in 63 minutes. By the way, still alive. I mean, from the fantasy perspective, he's a guy we've sort of written off for fantasy, and he comes back, pumps out a big score. Reed Marnie, 48 points. 80 minutes is encouraging, but they're going to get their troops back next week, so I wouldn't read into this one too much. He's going to the Cowboys next year. He's priced at a 42 at present. Hopefully, he gets less minutes as the year goes on, and that starts to wind down, and his average pops down to about a 37, maybe a 35 even. And hopefully, we see him nice and cheap for next year, because if he goes to the Cowboys and he's priced at about a 35 or a 40, I'll be buying Reed Marnie next year around 100%. He's a 50-odd guy when he gets the 4 minutes there. Toby Sexton off to the Super League next year, but pumped out a pretty solid game with a 46. Cobbo playing at fullback, grabbed that 43 there. Walters, Reynolds a bit quiet as well. Corey Pakes, Matt Burton grabbed a try, playing at center though. Just a very strange game. He did a lot of kicking in this one, but if you're a Burton owner, you don't love that he's going to center. He's probably not going to get that dual position either. I don't think he's started enough games. I think he's still a couple short. Bronson Jerry, Karapani, another one that saved the day late with that try. And look, I was recommending him this week as a decent option. I was feeling bad when he was on that low score. And then he grabbed that try and he looked absolutely dominant on that try as well. Looked fantastic. 36 points of the try obviously isn't ideal, but for your cash out guys, you just got to live with those sorts of scores. Lockie Galvin scoring less when he gets 80 minutes than he is when he's starting here, but for Lockie Galvin, 125 meters run is the encouraging sign there. So he's pumping the ball. At some point, he'll be the starter. He'll be at a good price, and we'll have a look at him at that point. Smoothie, Piakura grabbed the try. Very solid in this game. Not a great fantasy score, but good in real life. Connor Tracy, Tuala, Hoyter. Hoyter stepped in. Very expensive, so not in our radars. Hayward, Montoya, Josh Curran. This is what I was talking about Curran, by the way. I know a few people were really excited when they jumped on Curran. He played well in the edge back row spot and pumped out a 70 in that first game. And this is what I was concerned about. When they're back to full strength, his minutes at the prop spot are not great. They're not great. And we've seen that sort of decline. There's other factors at play as well, but we've seen that decline over the last few weeks, and that 31-point game is definitely the climax of that. And then I go to Jacob Preston, who I do think is a keeper, but this 29 is a disaster. Look, for him, 31 tackles, 29 points. You got the 100 meters run, 3 missed tackles, 2 errors, a penalty. So there's minus 12 in negatives there. That's not a complete disaster. The issue is no offloads, no tackle breaks, no attacking plays. And he is an attacking stat guy, right? So in the edge back row spot, guys like Jacob Preston, Eli Katoa, these types of players, they're going to score a 30-odd, if they don't grab any attacking stats at all. They do rely on those stats. Even, guys like Gus Crichton, there really is no edge back rower who doesn't rely on some of those Mayo stats and those attacking stats. So for Preston in this game, ball just didn't go his way. His edge was somewhat ignored a little bit there too, and he was just quiet in this one. So if you're a Preston owner, you live with it, you cop it, you move on, and you just treat him as a season keeper. Or you panic and you sell him and you think, oh, well, the Bulldogs aren't going to, play any attacking footy and he won't score any more tries this year. I think the first option there is the better option. I wouldn't panic. I'd just stick with him. Then Sam Hughes, Turpin, Hayes, Morin, Talty, Mariner, Hunt, and Todd. Finish it out. Yeah, so that's us done and dusted with the recap this week. In terms of where we're going with trades, this week is really about identifying who's a keeper and who's not. And keepers, obviously you got your top tier keepers, the guys that are in your starting 17 week in, week out. But then you want to have a think about those end of bench guys. So the 18th man you have, the 19th man you have, guys like maybe you say Nwani Tuase isn't quite a keeper. Okay, well, he's a great 18th man. Scott Drinkwater, maybe he isn't quite a keeper. Great 18th man. Joey Tarpanay, He's more of a keeper than Drinkwater, but he's a lot pricier, and maybe you can do more with his money. Like, you just sort of have a look at those things for your team. I would map it out too. I would have a look and just map out every position and just go, all right, cool. Here's my starting 13 of keepers. Here's my bench full of keepers there, and here is my cover for every position, including your bench there. So you want to have cover at every position too, so you're not having to trade aggressively that much. So I would look at that, map out your keepers there, target certain guys. For me, I'm targeting Connor Watson 100%. I think that hooker mid-duel is really important to have, and I think Connor Watson's at a great value price. So I think most teams will be looking at Connor Watson potentially. Isaiah Yeo, he's priced around 750K. That is a massive discount for him. He's got to be on your list. Big Tino in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, he's got that sternum issue that slowed him down. He's going to be in the 500s at some point pretty soon. I'll jump on him in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. Nathan Cleary, 900K, very good option to target as well. Payne Haas, we'll see how he comes out of Origin. But these guys have carried a few injuries, though. If you don't have them yet, you might as well give them a week out of Origin, just see how they go. Even guys like Latrell Mitchell, he's got the bye right out of Origin, so you're forced to wait a week anyway, but he is a cracking option for this week, or next week, right, to target for your wing fullback spot. So guys, that's me done and dusted. Hopefully you went well this week. We'll come back with buy, hold, sell this week. Obviously Teamless Tuesday live as well. And then we go through Pimp My Team on Wednesday. And as always, Thursdays, we have our live show, End of Round, where we talk about captain options, those last minute trade-ins, all that sort of jazz. So peace out, guys. Good luck this week. I'll see you on the next one.